So why is it that you can't just have an old cool car from the 70s? Why is it that you also need to have a modern car? Well, we thought we'd put that to the test and go for a little road trip in our 1970s American cars. On top of that, we thought we'd find out what the general public thinks about these cars and, more importantly, which one of our two cars is cooler. So dude, what are we talking about?
Today, I figured it's a beautiful day, and we do have two muscle cars, two old cars out on the road right now here in San Clemente. And I thought, as we go along the coast, we could talk about why it's important to have at least one modern car and one classic old car.
Yeah, I think it's a very important topic. Let's get along the coast here and then give our views.
While we see the view.
Nice. Hey, look at those birds over there.
Holy crap, those are pelicans, right?
Yeah, I've never seen so many in one group. They got a bad V going on there.
I could say the same thing about my ex-girlfriend. Driving muscle cars really brings out the dirty man, old man in you.
Yeah, I guess so.
I want to let everyone know that don't look at all the corpses next to the road there. That I am currently have 1 point on the cool car challenge, whereas how many do you have, Winston?
Those homeless guys just gave me my 4th point.
Wow, okay. So you're winning so far, just to keep everyone up to date.
I feel like this doesn't go where it's supposed to go.
This is not good for us, dude. My car's gonna overheat.
I know where we're going, but we have to turn around. Sorry, GPS led me astray.
Alright, well, I'll wait for you. My car's gonna die.
Yeah, this is probably one of the good things that we need to happen so we can talk about why it's good to have a modern car.
Yeah, that's really the most bullshit silver lining I've ever heard in my life.
I want to know the reason why you shouldn't own an old car first.
You gotta let me turn around first.
Sure thing, I'll wait for you here.
Thanks. I got a point. Seriously, what's up with all these
wonderful people
without masks? Where we live, it's not too bad. Down here, it's pretty bad.
I don't know, man. It's people that are irresponsible, don't care about others. It's selfishness, really.
Yeah, I think it's also a combination of people that just don't believe in this shit. It's a picturesque thing. It's a private community, bro. No trespassing.
I know. So we're gonna have to turn around again. What the hell? This is where the GPS said we should go.
It's probably why it was trying to avoid that shit, dude.
I don't want to be executed or whatever.
All right, I'm taking a right up here, okay?
Gotta go left. No, go left. Where are you going?
I'll do a U-turn.
Why would you go right?
Okay, I'm at the surfboard factory.
Yeah, why don't you just do it now quickly? Wait for a clearing, then I'll follow you. All right, now.
Car's a fucking Bronco.
Yep. Okay, cool. So why is it that you should not own a old car?
Well, if you watched any of that, you could probably figure out why. But I can tell you, with sensation-wise, number one, it's really hot in here. Number two, it smells like absolute shit because this is pre-emissions. So I have no emissions equipment on my car. And number three, you got to worry about all the clanking and weird sounds coming from this ancient tech because, let's be honest, cars broke down a lot more back then than these modern ones do.
Well, I've got working air conditioning and I've got emission stuff in my car, so it doesn't smell bad and it's nice and comfortable.
Yeah, but that logic doesn't make sense because my car is in fact older than yours, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but you could have gotten this car without air conditioning as an option. But yeah, the clanking and the stuff is there. I'd say the major drawback, by the way, your indicator's on. I'd say the major drawback is that you need to know cars because these things do break. When they were designed, they were actually designed to fail. The old GM cars are only supposed to last like, I don't know, a couple of years, 10 years, less than 10 years. In fact, probably less than 50,000 miles or something, and then you get a new one. Like buy a new one every other year.
You know, just so people don't think that's like a conspiracy theory, I want you guys to look at any analog odometer from this era, from these GM cars. You'll notice that they only have 5 digits because nobody in their right minds is going to put 100,000 miles on these things.
Exactly. And I mean, you do need to know, like, it's a good thing I'm mechanically minded. I mean, right now we're doing this road trip, but I've got like so many tools with us. I've got spanners, and I've got socket sets, and I've got screwdrivers, and I've got hoses and all sorts of extra crap, you know. So you have to be prepared. You have to know what you're doing, because these things will let you down. You will break down. You will overheat. The pipes will fail. That this will fail. That will fail. And you need to know what you're doing. That's probably the biggest drawback of owning an old car. Also, they're not very forgiving when you drive. You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, so if you want to talk about driving dynamics as well, if you compare this to a Toyota Corolla, I'm in a 74 Corvette. This is like the top of the line American sports car of its day, but it handles, I would say, probably worse than a Toyota Corolla. I bet I would be out-tracked by a new Corolla.
Absolutely, and look, yours has even got independent suspension all around. This one I'm in has got like a freaking leaf springs on the back, and a solid rear axle.
Yeah, and these are sports cars. It makes absolutely no sense. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so look, there's a lot of bad when it comes to these old cars. Reliability is probably the worst.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because, well, yours doesn't have the original engine, but I've got the original freaking 403, which, that's another thing I should talk about, is fuel economy. It's really bad.
Yeah, we actually just averaged 17, 18 miles a gallon. But that was on the highway, driving very slowly, at like the best, most efficient speed. So you got to keep that in mind. When you're actually driving around the city, you're going to be closer to like 10 miles per gallon.
Exactly. So, you're going to be paying a lot more for fuel. Also, parts availability, let's be honest. Okay, we're in GM cars, so in America it's easy enough to get like radiator hoses and stuff. But they are specialty cars, so you will be paying quite a lot of money to get like a Corvette specific thing from Eckler's Corvette, or a Firebird specific thing from Firebird Central, or whatever. It's going to be a lot more than just getting a trim piece for a Toyota, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And of course, you failed to mention the lack of horsepower that your massive engine makes. It's lower than a Toyota Camry.
I know, that is incredibly terrible. Look, these are 70s cars. Everybody knows the 70s was just terrible for horsepower. So, here we are. I've got a 403 cubic inch, 6.6 liter V8, and it puts out, when new, 185 horsepower. So it's probably putting out like 150 now,
Yeah, exactly. But there are a lot of good aspects, because let's be honest, if we're just going to bitch and moan about these cars all day, we wouldn't be in them, right?
Of course not. And I would rather drive one of these every day than a Toyota for a couple of reasons. And number one is, these cars have real personality.
I mean, you can just tell by the amount of people that look at them. Look at that Corvette right here. I hate to say it, my Corvette is more special than that Corvette because it survived. It's got a cooler sound. It's got a cooler look. It was designed with passion. And the same thing with your car.
Absolutely, man. You just don't get cars anymore with big, sort of phoenixes on the hood, or screaming chickens, whatever you want to call it. This gets a lot of looks. It's got a lot of personality. I mean, people look at this thing and they're like, what the hell is that? That's cool, and it's something special. And I was thinking about this on our way here. We passed a really expensive supercar, Mercedes something or other, and I was like, that is a very cool car. That is a super cool car, but guess what? It just means the owner is rich. It takes a very special kind of either a crazy redneck or I don't know what, like person like myself from South Africa to want to battle with a car like this, to get it running and to keep it running. And it really does reflect a person's personality. It's not just about money at that point. It's about who you are.
Yeah, I'll totally agree with that. Why don't you come past me so we can see your beauty? Why don't you get in front for a little while? Ooh, a bridge.
Cool. Why are we leaving the coast?
Yeah, we'll have to find our way back. First, you gotta listen to that.
Yeah, you see, it's about personality, isn't it? The sound, the shape, everything.
Yep.
There are so many things or reasons to own an old car, and to have both, you need both, because Well, number one, let's just talk about practicality here for a second. I don't think either of us could really pack our families into these cars.
Well, I mean, yeah, theoretically you could, but I only have 2 seats, so
Exactly.
I could bring one of my daughters. That's about it. But I don't even know if I would want to do that, to be honest. Because they're pretty unsafe.
Yeah, safety is a big concern with these. I mean, this is pre-airbags, pre-ABS, pre-everything. And mine even has drum brakes on the rear, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, all in all, it's nice to have both, because when you do get frustrated with these things or tired of these things or whatever, you can have a modern car to take, run errands and do whatever, actually, have a purposeful vehicle. You don't need to daily drive something like this.
Exactly. So that's what you need, is you need something that's practical for like family stuff, something that's safe, for the family, and something for you to just enjoy and show off and kind of, drive around in,
Yeah, and it's perfect for like an area like this. I mean, we're in Orange County right now. Everyone's checking it out. They're like, dude, these cars are sick. We're on the beach. It's pretty special.
Absolutely. It's so much better than driving around in an SUV, for instance. That would just wouldn't cut it, would it?
Yeah, like imagine if I had like a Bluetooth earpiece and I was driving an H3 Hummer talking about investments.
Yeah, I know, that wouldn't do. Yeah, dude, so I guess that pretty much covers the whole idea,
Yeah, dude,
so,
absolutely. Let's keep this trip up and we'll see you guys soon, eh?
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you in the next one, guys. Until then, you know the drill. Just like these cars, you gotta admit, stay awesome.